Welcome everybody to F1 Nation with me, Tom Clarkson, as we review the 2022 United States Grand Prix. No Damon or Natalie this weekend, so my teammates are Formula 2 champion Felipe Drugovich and Diego Mejia, who works for Fox Sports and ESPN. And we have an action-packed show coming your way in no particular order, and I hope I've remembered everyone that we've got on the show. We speak to Otmar Szafnauer, Christian Horner, Fernando Alonso, Sebastian Vettel, Mick Schumacher, Tom McCulloch from Aston Martin, Andreas Seidel from McLaren, Alex Albon, Théo Pourchaire, and reigning IndyCar champion Alex Palou.
He is catching, he's going to attack for the lead, he's down the inside, and Max Verstappen takes the lead of the US Grand Prix, but Hamilton's still with him, he hasn't given up.
So close so far.
It's another victory in 2022, Max Verstappen wins the US Grand Prix.
Max Verstappen, you are world champion, we are world champions, thank you so much, and thank you, Dietrich Mateschitz. These championships are for you. Thank you.
2 weeks ago in Japan, Max Verstappen wins the Drivers' Championship. And here at COTA, Red Bull are the Constructors' Champions of 2022. Richly deserved, of course, on what has been a very difficult weekend for the team with the death of Dietrich Mateschitz on Saturday. And what a brilliant gift to his memory this championship is, and of course Max Verstappen winning this Grand Prix. Now, without Damon this weekend, I'm delighted to say that we have Formula 2 champion Felipe Drugovich is with us. Felipe, you okay?
Yeah, good, Tom. Thank you very much.
And of course you are Aston Martin's reserve driver these days. My goodness, I want to talk to you about Vettel. What are you feeding him these days? I mean, that drive, incredible.
Yeah, that's what I just told them, and they should bring me more often because, first race that I come, the car is very fast, the drivers are doing exceptionally well, and yeah, I think he did a mega job.
I mean, it's been a tremendous Grand Prix, full stop, I feel, here at COTA. And joining me in Felipe, I'm delighted to say we have Diego Mejia from, what do we call it, Fox TV in Mexico and ESPN in Colombia.
The rest of Latin America, basically. Thank you, Tom.
The whole of Latin America. Diego.
But Brazil.
Thanks for the clarification. But Diego, lovely to have you on the show as well. I mean, how do you sum up everything that we've seen? Just big picture stuff first, everything that's happened this weekend.
Well, I think first is finally Red Bull wrapping up a season in which they have dominated in a way that obviously brings back memories of their days with Vettel. The fact that this car has been the winningest creation of Adrian Newey, I think, sums up how good a job they've done with the RB18 in the middle of what was developing a car while fighting for the championship last year. There's obviously the cost cap thing on the background, still going, but that moves aside with what happened this weekend, the news of Dietrich Mateschitz dying, sadly. Whenever you think of Dietrich Mateschitz, or at least myself, you think of a guy that gives young guys opportunities. Many drivers, many athletes, motorcycle racers everywhere. He's given plenty of guys opportunities that is not easy, and giving young talent opportunity like Christian Horner, he was the youngest team principal for a while, and what a job he's done, I think the tears in his eyes sum up the emotion of giving this to Dietrich in such a great year for them.
And of course, Felipe, you have raced so many Red Bull young drivers in your career so far. I mean, you haven't been on the Red Bull roster, you're an Aston Martin guy now, but just give us your thoughts on Dietrich Mateschitz.
Yeah, I think I agree with what has been said. I think it's been a really very good guy that could help a lot of athletes in all the sports. He's been helping everyone that he's kind of liking for, and then also in F1, I think what is done in F1 has been a pretty massive thing. I think no one expected some energy drinks company to do what is done. So yeah, it's something really remarkable, and for sure this title is going to be thankful.
Actually, Diego, I thought there was some lovely touches this Sunday here in Austin. all the senior management wearing jeans because that's what Dietrich always wore. And then, of course, he was a mad fan of the Rolling Stones. In the background now, you may be able to hear that is the Rolling Stones playing in the Red Bull garage as the celebrations post-race continue. So, you know, what a guy, loved by everybody in Formula One and will be much missed.
Yeah, and on top of that, we had a great spectacle here at COTA today. I think, from my memory at least, some people might contest this, but I think it has been the best race we've seen here at COTA for a while. I mean, it's been...
Hang on, contest. I'm contesting that. I thought last year was pretty damn good.
Okay, but here we had 3 different teams fighting for the victory, you know. At some point it looked like Mercedes' victory for the first time this year was on the table. Max obviously had his own ideas, and he had the pace, and he wrapped it up beautifully. There was this tension about the track limits in the last part of the race, but once Lewis was in the same situation, it was probably finished at the front in the terms of the fight for victory.
Also, Aston leading.
Oh yeah.
Sebastian Vettel leading indeed. But can we talk before we come on to that about the pace of Red Bull here? I mean, let's look at the hard facts, okay? Max Verstappen had a pit stop that cost him 11 seconds. He came out behind Charles Leclerc, had to overtake him, then make up the 6 seconds to Lewis Hamilton in front, overtake Lewis Hamilton, and then pull out 3 seconds before the checkered flag. I mean, you could argue this was one of their most dominant performances of the entire season.
Yeah, for sure. You could. Yeah, I think the car has been amazing. Obviously, Max has done exceptionally well in every race, so that's out of context anymore. So, yeah, I think the car has been great in every circuit, but this one they've really nailed it in. I think also a combination with fast corners and slow speed also with these straights that we have here. I think it's a perfect combination for that car, and for sure it showed on track.
We're just with Christian Horner. He's wearing his Champions t-shirt. They've been ready for a while, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but look, I mean, it's just an amazing, after such an emotional weekend, you know, to get that result here, to win the race after the difficulty with the pit stop, you know, after all the emotion of this weekend, we're losing Dietrich yesterday. It's been a most phenomenal, you know, team effort, you know, not just today, but all year. And, you know, obviously we would like to dedicate this championship, you know, in honor of his memory.
Can we start by talking about Dietrich and the impact he's had on you personally, Christian? I'd like a memory if possible, but also what he's done for the sport of motor racing.
Well, look, I mean, he was a giant of a man. He was a man who you know, had a vision, and he had a determination, and he inspired so many. And you know, he was one of those very rare human beings that you know, that just did some remarkable things. And not just what he did with the energy drink, but across a multitude of sports and activities, the amount of opportunity that he gave to people and young people. He never stopped supporting and giving youth a chance, whether it was drivers, whether it was skiers, whether it was, you know, tennis players, whatever sport he touched. And you know, but particularly his heart was very close to Formula One, and I'll be forever indebted the opportunity he gave me, the support, the advice, you know. And he was there on the difficult days. You know, he was unwavering in his support of the team. And you know, he always used to tell me, look, no risk, no fun. And you know, that was his mantra. He lived life to the full, and you know, he just did things differently, and he wasn't afraid to do things differently, and he wasn't afraid to take on the establishment. And you know, he was just the most wonderful human being that you know, we'll very sadly miss. And but his spirit will live on. You know, his legacy will live on. His spirit is embodied throughout Red Bull, is embodied throughout this team. And you know, what we've done today is all down to that spirit.
Christian, your record in Formula One speaks for itself, so please take my next question the right way. But you were incredibly young when you came in 2005. You had next to no experience in Formula One. I mean, why did he take a risk on you? Can you just give us some insight into the conversations that went on?
He was prepared to give youth a chance, as he did with drivers and so on. And you know, I guess he saw in me that Helmut put me in front of him. I'd raced against Helmut in Formula 3000, what's now Formula 2, and he said, I think this kid's worth a go. And I sat down with Dietrich, and the moment you saw, he just didn't want to take part in Formula 1. He wanted to compete. He had a dream. He had a vision. He was a blue sky thinker, and it was just so infectious. And I was 31, by far the youngest team principal, in the sport, and he gave me the chance, and he gave me the backing, and he gave me the support, and he was always there. He was always there if you needed him. There was always there to bounce something off him.
Wow. Very powerful words, Christian. Can I just bring it on to this race today? I thought you showed true dominance. I mean, Max can have a pit stop that lasts 11 seconds. He can come out behind Charles Leclerc, overtake Charles Leclerc, make up 6 seconds, pass Lewis Hamilton, put 3 seconds on Lewis Hamilton before the checkered flag. I mean, one of your more dominant races.
I think Dietrich would have been sitting up there. I think he would have enjoyed that one. I think if the first race he wasn't here for, we'd have lost to Mercedes this year. But we made it. We did it the hard way. And I think that Max has just been phenomenal all year. The way he's driven, and of course the pit stop was slow, but he got his composure, and then he just made it happen. And of course he had to clear Charles quickly and then hunt down Lewis. It has always been very, very strong at this circuit. And the one opportunity he had, he went for it. And then of course he needed to break that DRS, and bit by bit he was able to gradually do that and then bring it home, and it was tremendously emotional, and that's why I sent Helmut up on the podium today, as Dietrich's friend and compatriot, and again, someone that's played such a key role in everything we do, to say, look, today is about Dietrich and for him, and hearing the Austrian national anthem was a very emotional moment for all of us.
And for all of us watching, Christian, many congratulations from all of us. You could hear the emotion in Christian's voice there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. When you saw the tears in his eyes, it's such a great season for them. I don't think they ever envisaged to be at this level while trying to give Lewis a run for the money last year for the championship. And when you see the images of the people that have been with the team since the very beginning, it's not only when you see Helmut, when you see Christian, when you see Adrian, you see guys like Jonathan Whitley, who has been absolutely vital to the team, and I think they have a very strong nucleus, and to that a lot of great talent attaches.
Final thoughts from you, Felipe, just on Red Bull and everything they've achieved?
Yeah, I mean, as Diego was saying, that you can see in his face he's very emotional about this, and as he should be. I think it's something that is going to go down in the history. So yeah, something that they need to enjoy.
Hey, Felipe, by the way, did you get a selfie with Brad Pitt this weekend?
No.
Did you get close?
Yeah, I got really close. He was in our team, and even for FP3, I guess.
Yes, that's why I'm asking. And you didn't do it?
No, he was actually behind me. But
you bottled it?
I wouldn't say I bottled it, but I was like, maybe I don't ask for it.
Do you know what, Diego? It is incredible. In fact, I'm gonna do a Murray Walker and interrupt myself, and I'm gonna ask Tom McCulloch to join the podcast. I've asked Felipe, what are you feeding Sebastian Vettel at the minute, Tom? Tom being, of course, chief engineer at Aston Martin, but Vettel is driving out of his skin.
He really had it hooked up well today. The car's performing, and then you noticed, don't you, it made the car a little bit more competitive. Two drivers had great pace at the start of the race, so it was nice to be up there at the front. But yeah, overall, he's got his mojo back and he's enjoying himself. He's relaxed. Hopefully he keeps that up to the end of the year.
Tell us about your racing car, because without wanting to be rude, it wasn't great when it came out of the box at the start.
That is rude.
But you then bring the upgrades to Barcelona. It took a while for you to get those to work, and I felt I saw a noticeable step forward after the summer break. What happened then? Why was the car so much better then?
Yeah, well spotted, Tom. So conceptually, the car was very different, as you say, for Barcelona. Ever since that point, we've been on, going back to a development path that we had looked at during the winter, and we just got our heads down and just pushed on that, bringing updates to the floor mainly, but event after event. Front wing, floor, rear wing, making the car more competitive. So that's what we've been doing, chipping away. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
So Lance's accident with Fernando, good to see your 2023 teammates getting off to a good start.
Ultimately, it's a racing incident, isn't it? They're both pushing hard, very, very close, and no one wants to see an accident like that. So, yeah, not ideal, but that is motor racing sometimes.
Well, look, it's great to see the car going so well. Catch up with you soon. Thank you. That is Tom McCulloch, who is Chief Engineer. Now, look, I mentioned that accident, and I wasn't in any way being flippant, only that of course it was the two Aston Martin teammates for next year, almost like you couldn't make it up. But Felipe, from a racing driver's point of view, what did you make of the accident?
I mean, it was really close from both. I think you can't really blame one or the other there. I think for sure we all know what each one were trying to do, and so Lance was trying to move out the last minute so he can defend better, so the other one probably lifts up a little bit, and then Fernando was trying to get as close as possible to get more speed, and yeah, I think it was a little bit too close for comfort, and yeah, the small touch. It was actually not a big touch, but because of the front wing broken, the car just went up.
You are going to be driving the Aston Martin in FP1 in Abu Dhabi. What's the process between now and then? Have you had a seat fit?
Yeah, but the seat fit, which was really cool to get that done. First contact with the team, did some simulator work, and now I'm going to be back at the team, do a lot more sim work, and then I'm going to be in Brazil, obviously, following the weekend and doing what I've been doing this weekend here, and then off to Abu Dhabi to do the FP1 and also the last race in F2 because it's still not finished. It
was an extraordinary situation here. We had 5 young drivers doing FP1s, and I'm going to list them now. Alex Palou from McLaren, we had Antonio Giovinazzi, doing 3 laps in the Haas. Then Logan Sargent got his first run for Williams. Robert Schwartzman in the Ferrari. Teo Picher in the Alfa Romeo. And even Mario Andretti, aged 82, in the 2013 McLaren. But Diego, what did you make of who put in the best FP1 performance of those young guys for you?
Well, I think I don't think it's easy for these guys to go into FP1 with all we know. You saw what happened to Giovinazzi. None of them wanted to do that. I think Palou did a pretty good job. He was running a race simulation simultaneously with Ocon, and his times looked pretty much on the money. So I think he did a pretty good job.
Timing is everything in life, isn't it? Certainly in this Formula One paddock. How, Felipe, as a young up-and-coming driver, do you position yourself to be in the best car at the best time? So much of a driver's success is based around that, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think in F1 you need to start somewhere, and most of the top teams are not putting young drivers straight in. So, of course, I got the opportunity with Aston now, and I'm developing a lot with them. I'm helping the team also to develop, and we talk about top teams, but hopefully one day I'll get the opportunity there, and the team is growing a lot. So yeah, we have to wait and see.
How much support are you feeling from Brazil? I mean, you must be the country must be willing. You see that the fan base has grown a lot, like everywhere, but you must be hoping that this next great driver from Brazil comes up as what it used to be a long time ago.
Yeah, no, the fan base in Brazil is huge, and even when I announced was crazy. Like the amount of followers, the amount of messages that I got was just crazy, and you can see people are really supporting. They're really, how can I say, lonely of a Brazilian Formula 1 driver. So they're waiting for someone to go up there and represent the country.
How much support do you have from companies in Brazil? I mean, it's a huge market for Formula One. You don't have to go too far back to a time when there were 30 million people in Brazil watching Formula One. We haven't had a Brazilian driver since Felipe Massa. I mean, do you feel now that you're F2 champion, there's a wave of support pushing you along now?
Yeah, there is. I think I didn't feel any of that before the F2 champion, F2 championship, but for sure now things have changed, and I can really feel a big difference, and people are pushing me a lot now.
Okay. Now look, let's talk now about Mercedes this weekend. They brought an upgrade. There was controversy over the front wing, which they didn't actually get to race, but there were still new parts to the floor. I think there was a bit of weight saving and a bit of this and a bit of that. Undoubtedly, in my mind, it was a step forward in terms of performance. I think, as Christian just said, Lewis always goes very well here, but Diego, how did you see the performance of Mercedes this weekend?
Yeah, I was kind of like them waiting to see how the new surface would probably help them or hamper them. So in the end, it looked like the car looked quite on the edge, like on a knife edge in FP3 ahead of qualifying. I guess they were a bit disappointed with the result in qualifying, but as has been the tendency all year long, they tend to be very strong in race pace. It was the case again. Lewis obviously raced up to the opportunity of eventually fighting for victory, and in the end, I guess, like he summed it up, there was nothing much more that he could do against Verstappen in the end.
He was a bit of a sitting duck in the end, but we'll come back to Mercedes because Alpine team principal Otmar Safnauer is with us now. Wow, Fernando Alonso. At one point, he looked like he was, taking off at Austin Airport. What an incredible race by him!
Yeah, amazing race by Fernando. And unfortunately, when the accident happened, he was on the better tire, and we had to come in and get. We only did a lap on the good tire. So we ended up doing the entire race on the hard, which isn't ideal, but he did a great job.
What about the performance of the car this weekend?
Well, it was looking good. We were comfortably quicker than the McLarens in both cars, with both cars. But unfortunately, well, we saw what happened, and the accident didn't help us. And like I said, we had to do the entire race on the hard tire, which wasn't the tire to be on.
Quick question about Esteban. I felt he did one of his best races in Formula One last time out at Suzuka, and yet seemed to struggle this weekend. What were his issues?
Well, his issues were he had a bit of oversteer on his qualifying lap, which is the first time it happened through the S's. And when you get oversteer, the S's are pretty quick, and he was just couldn't get his lap in, and then qualified 18th. And we then decided to get him a new powertrain for the rest of the season, start in the pit lane. And once you start in the pit lane, it's pretty difficult. But he came close to the points. He went from last to 11th.
3 races to go. One hand on that P4.
Yeah, we've 3 races to go. We've got a good car, 2 good drivers. We just have to perform in the races, and we'll have 2 hands on the P4.
Oh, well, many thanks. This episode is sponsored by Athletic Greens. As you know, I started taking AG1 because I needed a reliable multivitamin that could help keep my energy levels steady and my immune system strong while we've been travelling race to race this season. One of my biggest fears is getting sick when on the road, so I'm always keen to fuel my body in the best way possible. With just 1 scoop of AG1 daily mixed in water, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics and adaptogens. And it's made of only the best ingredients. You won't find any GMOs, nasty chemicals, or artificial anything here. It contains less than 1 gram of sugar and has a really nice tropical taste to it, which isn't always the case with these things. Better yet, it's cheaper than buying all your supplements separately. Not only has AG1 kept me feeling good while travelling, it's got a ton of other benefits as well. It helps support gut health, your nervous system, better sleep, recovery after exercise, and can help sharpen your focus if you're ever suffering from brain fog. Adding AG1 to your daily routine couldn't be simpler. Just take it in the morning, when you wake up, or mix it in your water for when you leave the gym. It's a small micro habit with big benefits. And just one thing you can do every single day to take great care of yourself. So reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/F1Nation. Again, That's athleticgreens.com/F1Nation to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Felipe, when I think of Alpine, at the forefront of my mind still, even a few months on, is Oscar Piastri and the whole shenanigans surrounding him. Of course, he's going to be racing for McLaren next year. Alpine thought they had him. You've raced Oscar a lot in Formula 2. Can you just give us a little bit of insight into what kind of a driver he is?
Yeah, well, I've raced with him in 2021. No need to say he's a good driver, but yeah, it was impressively good for him that he got into the championship, got used to the tires, which is something quite difficult to do in Formula 2 for the first year, and start delivering already from race 2 or 3, and yeah, and never stopped. So that's where the points came from, and he won the championship. So yeah, very well done for him.
Yeah, very well done for him. Good scoop for McLaren to have him lining up alongside Lando Norris next year. But we're interrupting ourselves. We now have McLaren team principal Andreas Seidel with us. Hey, P6 for Lando Norris. Great race.
Yeah, very happy with the outcome. Being the best car behind the usual top 3 teams means we pretty much maximized everything we had this weekend. Great job by the team. Strategy, pit stops, and great drive for Lando.
Right. I'm looking at 20 cars, you're looking at 2 cars, so you can give us more insight now. I felt Lando's car came alive latterly in that race, in the later stages. Is that true? Is that a reflection of what happened?
No, I think we had decent pace all race. We were pretty much unlucky, to be honest, with Lando today in the race. He lost the positions. Turn 1 with the incident in front of him, we had to brake. He lost positions because of the safety car when he pitted before, and then some cars jumped him because of the safety car. Then the car was heavily damaged by the incident in front of him between Stroll and Fernando, but he still kept it cool together with the team and just kept going, and yeah, great result in the end.
How do you see the battle for P4 in the Constructors Championship? You've closed it by a little bit.
Yeah, maybe tight battle. These last 3 races, Alpine has a strong car as well, 2 strong drivers. Just need to focus on ourselves, execute clean weekends, try to hang in there until the last lap in Abu Dhabi, and that's hopefully enough to be ahead in the end.
Which racetrack will suit your car the best of these last 3?
As we have seen so far this year with these new cars, impossible to predict. Yeah, no, we have seen it goes backwards, forwards from weekend to weekend. It depends on many different things. Of course, the track layout, but also ambient conditions, tire selection. So difficult to predict, and also the Astons, for example, this weekend were quite strong as well. So it seemed that they have found something as well. So. It will be a tough battle, not just against the Alpines, against several other teams as well. So let's make sure we keep scoring, and then hopefully that's enough.
Best of luck. So team, we keep trying to talk about Mercedes, we keep getting interrupted. Look, the last guy on the subject of Mercedes I wanted to talk about was George Russell and the incident at turn 1, okay, between him and Carlos Sainz. Racing driver, what was your read of what happened there?
That was really tough to predict, because you can see Carlos was trying to, keep going around the outside, but when he realized Verstappen was going to close the door on him, he tried to cut back, and at that point, for sure, George wasn't expecting that, and he was already there, so nothing he could do. Obviously, Carlos wasn't his fault as well, because he didn't know there was a car there. So, those incidents that you can blame anyone.
Yeah, I agree with Felipe. I think Carlos was trying to, take a run back on Max on the exit, like trying to put the throttle before, because Max was really going deep into the corner. But probably behind the battle between the 2 Mercedes was getting a bit hot, because they were actually running side by side. It was George on the inside, Lewis on the outside, and yeah, I think that trajectory somehow crossed, unfortunately for George, and there wasn't much he could do about it. But yeah, for sure there was no intention of him running into Carlos, which unfortunately marks another consecutive retirement for him a shame, because it was building into a very nice weekend for Carlos.
But I'm going to interrupt. We have Alex, you are. This is Alex Albon. This is your show.
You know, I'm in my hospitality. I open the blind and I'm just looking for you to walk down with your microphone so I can just run out and talk on the show.
We are heading towards Williams to speak to you, big man. Look, oh my God, it's getting noisy. But look, Alex, quickly, you're very blonde this weekend.
Thank you.
Not blonde all over, though, you revealed the other day.
No, I got caught out with that reply from Lewis. I'm an innocent guy. I don't have dirty thoughts, you know. Yeah. I mean, the blonde didn't work this weekend. It almost did.
But I beg to differ, actually, because the team wasn't that confident coming into this weekend, yet you were, 200s from Q3? Phenomenal Saturday for you.
It was actually, honestly, as the weekend goes, it's one of them ones where I don't think on paper it looks impressive or like a good weekend, but it was. We did a really good job on Saturday. Today we've also done a good job, honestly. You know, we were fighting for points until the last 4 or 5 laps, and we were hoping for another Spa, but we didn't get that. We were hoping for a safety car or something, because the daycare was unbelievable. The wind being as strong as it was, we're just sliding every corner, slide. Had some good battles with Seb. He got past me, unfortunately. And that was it.
Final question from me is, where were you on the golf chart? Just for people listening who weren't aware, there was a driving range at one end of the paddock. I fancied Alex Albon.
You did?
Yeah.
You did. Well, I appreciate that. I have the reach. I'm tall. I'm more athletic than Lando, but he did beat me.
He actually was phenomenal, like 305 yards.
So this is the story, okay?
Are you ready, everybody at home? Settle in.
I had my girlfriend is a professional golfer, by the way, and she was overseeing this. I had maybe 30 swings, which is a lot apparently. Lando had like 100. He was there non-stop. So
only did you because he got more practice. Is that what you're saying?
If I did 100 laps in Q2, I would have got into Q3. That's
I like the analogy.
That's a good example. Yeah, I like that.
But what was your distance?
Mine was 288, so I was second.
Oh, okay, close.
Second position. I'll take it. You know, if you said that to me as a race result, I would have been very happy with it.
Boys, we're going down to McLaren. We need to interview Lando Norris about this right now. Hey, Alex, thanks for coming on the show. See you. Friend of the show, Alex Albon. If you're concerned about your online privacy and are looking for a safe way to browse the internet both at home and when accessing public Wi-Fi, try NordVPN. When you access the internet with NordVPN, it creates an encrypted tunnel for your data and protects your online identity by hiding your IP address to make your online activities virtually untraceable, essentially blocking marketers and internet service providers from tracking and collecting your browsing history, your messages, and other private data. And you don't even need to be tech savvy to use it. All you need to do is download the app and hit connect and you're all set. It couldn't be simpler to get started, and if you're anything like me and often work remotely or access the internet away from home, you'll really benefit from enabling auto connect. That way you'll know you're immediately protected whenever you go online. You won't even notice it running in the background because it has amazing speed, so you can game, stream or browse to your heart's content with zero lag or buffering. What's really great is that with just one account you can connect up to 6 devices, and it's compatible with every major platform: Windows, Android, iOS, Mac and Linux. You can even use it to protect your smart TV. Get all of that and so much more for the price of a cup of coffee each month, which really is a small price to pay for peace of mind. Grab your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/F1Nation to get a huge discount off your NordVPN plan plus 4 months for free. It's completely risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. That's nordvpn.com/F1Nation. While we're talking all things McLaren, I caught up with the 2021 IndyCar champion Alex Palou, who drove in FP1 and had some really interesting things to say about what he got up to and the comparisons between IndyCar and Formula One. Alex, I've grabbed you as you've just got out of the McLaren after FP1, 21 laps. That's a big smile on your face. How was it?
It was amazing, man. Just had tons of fun. But I had tons of fun since Thursday when I got to the track. Started learning everybody from the team, started working with all the engineers, the mechanics, Daniel, Lando, and then obviously that hour and those 21 laps were super special. Probably the best moment was pulling out of the guards for the first time. Didn't stall, nothing crazy happened.
Is that what you were thinking? Don't stall, don't stall?
No, to be honest, I had a bit of experience, and they are pretty difficult to stall nowadays. But I don't know, you never know what can happen, right? So I was just there, and knowing that it was the first official practice I was doing, all the fans and driving a McLaren car, it was awesome.
What was the program? And were you doing exactly what Daniel would have done had he been in the car?
It was a bit different, obviously. We did at the beginning, first 10-15 minutes, we did all of aero collection for the team. So we had all these amazing sensors around the car, so the engineers could check everything. Then we stopped without pushing any lap. It was just doing constant speed laps. And then we started cracking on with our program. We had probably 5-6 laps of qualifying, and then we did a little bit of long run at the end. But we only used one set of tires, which then if Daniel was in the car, they would have used two. But obviously the target for our session was not to try and post a good lap time, was to get the data and to get me comfortable. And we already stole Daniel 1 hour in the car, so we didn't want to steal 1 hour and tires. So yeah.
What are these cars like to drive? Because you're the reigning IndyCar champion. Is this very different to get your head around, or are you one of these drivers for whom a car is a car?
Both. I think I always think a car is a car. A rally driver could come to IndyCar and race really fast. A supercar driver champion like Scott McLaughlin came to IndyCar and is shining, and he never drove a single-seater before. So a car is a car, but at the same time, a Formula One car is the car. So it's very different to everything else I tested before or raced in my life. I think I've been...
Where? You say it's the car. Where is it
acceleration. As soon as you take out the pit speed limit, you're like, oh my God. It's not the top speed, because the top speed at the end of the day, it's really close. But it's how you get there and how fast you get to that top speed. And then downforce, it's mental. And the braking performance, it's hard to explain. So you think you're braking really late and you're braking at 100 meters and you're like, oh my God, my neck is gonna, get out of my body. But then you still have those 50 meters more that you can brake, and you start pushing more and more, and the car can handle it. So it's just insane.
So what happens next for you? I mean, just as an observer looking from the outside in, you have nothing more to prove in IndyCar. You're the champion. You've ticked that box. Has this whetted your appetite for Formula One? Is this where you see your goal now?
Yes and no. I mean, we won in IndyCar, but I only won one championship. I won more. Didn't win the Indy 500, which that's the next target I have. And here I got the opportunity to drive an old car, a 2021 car for McLaren, and I said yes, please, yes. And then I got the opportunity to drive in FP1. So I don't know what the next step is, who knows? Maybe it's another test, maybe it's only winning the Indy 500, and I'll be happy either or. So I'll be ready. I think my target was to prove that we could be fast in an F1 car. I think I tried on my abilities, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
The final one from me. There was a bit of controversy earlier in the year about super license points surrounding Colton Herta. Now that you've experienced this, what is your take on super license points?
I think, first of all, I have my super license, so I don't care what's going on. It's easy for me to say, but Yeah, to be honest, I think IndyCar is such a tough competition. I invite everybody to follow closely IndyCar and IndyCar drivers and how close the racing is to see if we deserve a little bit more points or not. It's a professional series. It's not a junior series. And I'm not saying that we should have priority over other series, but maybe we should get a little bit more importance. For example, Colton Herta won, I don't know, 4 or 5 races in IndyCar, so it's not like he won one by luck, strategy, or whatever. He won because he's fast. I think he could be a really good F1 driver, and there was several teams in F1 that were willing to give him a chance, and he's not in the F1 paddock now as a driver because of the points. So yeah, I don't think they should have break the rules, but maybe they should have changed it for the future a little bit, and make it easier for good IndyCar drivers to come to F1. But yeah, we'll see. I have mine, so whatever.
Yeah, okay.
I can lease mine to Colton if he wants. I don't know if that's possible or not.
We should mention that to the FIA. Yeah.
I don't know if some guys are listening. I'm leasing my super license if you want for a year at least, and we can talk about it a bit more.
Alex, wonderful to have you on the show. Brilliant job here at COTA, and we hope to see you back sometime.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We're going to we can see Mick Schumacher in the distance, former rival of yours.
Yeah, he was my rival back in 2020, go-karts, 2016 in Formula 4s. So yeah, let's try to get some words from him.
Yeah. Mick, have you got just 2 secs? Old rival of yours here, dying to do an interview with you. Okay. Look, Mick, just sum up. It wasn't such an easy weekend for you here, but just sum up your experience of racing in COTA and what the car was like.
Yeah, obviously, it hasn't been the most easy weekend for us, but nonetheless, we've gotten down to the pace. We've been there. Obviously, then took some car damage after the accident. And then the weekend was kind of done after that.
How was the performance compromised by that?
Well, I think it probably lost around like 30 to 40 points. So if you're talking about performance, that's gone.
Let's look bigger picture then. I mean, it has been a phenomenal weekend here, 450,000 people. I know you have close links with America, you've got the ranch down the road and stuff like that. Have you had a warm reception from the American fans?
Yeah, for sure. It's always nice coming here. I love being around, and there's so many possibilities, and especially when you come to Austin, it's always nice to feel this warm welcome, especially being part of the only American team out here. It's definitely nice to come out here, drive, and then try to score points. I mean, Kevin did manage, so that's obviously great for the team, but I was hoping for points for myself.
And Kevin told us before the weekend that you deserve another crack next year.
Well, I hope so. Watch out. Obviously, things are going well in the sense that we're driving well. Obviously, what the decision makers do, that's out of my control, but I can only perform weekend in and weekend out.
Mick, thanks for coming on the show. Great to see you. We have an addendum to the show, because the stewards of the meeting have been deliberating a protest from Haas towards the Alpine team, and it's to do with the right-hand wing mirror on Fernando Alonso's car, which he lost mid-Grand Prix, and it's been decided that Alonso will get a post-race 10-second stop-go penalty, which drops him from 7th place at the flag out of the points. So the top 10 looks like this. Max Verstappen wins his 13th race of the season to claim the Constructors Championship for Red Bull. Lewis Hamilton is second, his third second place of the season, and Charles Leclerc is the final man on the podium after that great drive from 12th to 3rd. Sergio Perez finishes 4th, George Russell 5th after that incident with Carlos Sainz at turn 1. Lando Norris is 6th. And with Alonso gone, Sebastian Vettel, the driver of the day, finishes 7th. Kevin Magnussen jumps up to 8th in the Haas. Yuki Tsunoda is 9th. And Esteban Ocon gets a point for Alpine in 10th. guys, that's pretty much the end of the show. I think we need some final thoughts. Now, Sebastian Vettel was the fans' driver of the day.
There's also this guy who might have to interview here.
Teo Pourchaire. Do you know what, Teo? Felipe's pointing out all of his F2 mates to me at the minute. And of course, look, you ran
There's half of the F2 grid on the paddock here.
True. Hey, Teo, you ran in FP1 for Alfa Romeo. How was it?
It was amazing. It was a cool experience, and I learned a lot. It's very fast compared to F2. I was a bit lost the first few laps, but no, really happy about it, and I'm learning a lot of things. You know, this weekend I was with the team. I will be in Mexico with the team as well.
FP1 in Mexico?
No. Unfortunately, not only a bit of tequila and nachos. That's it.
So what about FP1 in Abu Dhabi? I want to see you and Felipe on track together in FP1.
I don't know yet if I will be doing the FP1 in Abu Dhabi. For sure, I will be doing the rookie test day. So I guess Felipe will be doing the rookie test day as well. So we will be on track together.
That's a photograph we need.
Yeah, maybe a little bit less fighting than on track on F2.
Teo, great to see you. Thank you. Thanks for coming on the show. So if we stop getting interrupted, lads, driver of the day, from the fans' point of view, was, of course, Sebastian Vettel. Going to put that question to you. Felipe, driver of the day.
Vettel, easy.
Sure. You can say someone else. I know you're wearing a green shirt. No, I agree with you. I agree. I'm only winding you up. I thought Vettel was phenomenal.
I mean, I'm absolutely biased here, but I think both drivers did a really good job. Sebastian and Lance. Lance, his lap in quali was exceptional. Obviously, I was watching the onboard. I was actually impressed by that. And, also Sebastian in the race, he did an amazing job. Just preserving the tires. And he was actually, every stint he was focusing on the end of the stint. And just blew the others away. So very happy for him.
Hang on, but Sebastian, were your ears burning at that exact moment? Because Felipe's just been waxing lyrical about you and saying all the things he's learning from you, and also what a phenomenal race. And I'm going to say that as well. What a phenomenal race from you today.
Yeah, it was good fun. Why were my ears burning? I didn't get that. Sorry.
Because we were talking about you. You driver of the day. Yeah. We were saying nice things about you.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously nice. Obviously, we would have liked to score a couple more points. Not sure I would have gotten driver of the day because I think the moves contributed at the end, but yeah, I got to enjoy the last couple of laps a lot, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, and thank you. I mean, I'm open. Yeah,
I'm a bit biased, but yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You seem to be really hooked up with this car these last few races.
Well, also it's true that it keeps getting better. I think it's us understanding the car. We're not necessarily put on bits now, but yeah, it would be great if we can keep the performance that we had this weekend up for the last races.
You've got a doll in your hand. Oh no, it's you. It's
really me. So
who gave you that?
As a fan, so it's a nice gift. I'm going to take it with me.
Look, Seb, thanks for your time. Brilliant race. You're our driver of the day. Well done, mate. See you next week. Oh no, we're going to get interrupted again.
Are we?
Here comes Fernando. What a race by you today. How do you sum it up?
Yeah, I mean, not easy race. We started 14th, we went up to 6th, and then we had the car broken for half a lap, 17th, and then we finished 7th. So yeah, a lot of things going on in the race today, but yeah, at the end it was a lucky one, and I'm happy to be talking here and not in the medical center, to be honest, because it was a scary moment. You never know when you are flying if you will end it up on the left on the metallic fence that you see in IndyCar, these kind of accidents. So yeah, I got lucky today.
Who is your driver of the day today, Diego?
I think it's difficult to go against Max. The way he recovered, I think he's won in every possible way this year. This race has thrown, like we were saying, different challenges. He overcome those again. Took the Constructors Championship in a weekend that was special for the team. So yeah, but also Fernando, I think he did a great race. He was doing a great race already before everything that unfolded, and the way he wrapped it up with 34 laps on the hards was pretty good as well.
Yeah, he's brilliant at keeping those tyres alive, isn't he? Well, as you asked, my driver of the day Look, I'm going to go for Hamilton, actually. It's interesting that we picked 3 different guys. I thought we saw the Lewis of old today. For a moment, I felt he thought he could win that race today. And I it had shades of last year when it was Hamilton and Max again, wasn't it? But of course it was... and I just thought it was wonderful to see Lewis driving so brilliantly out front, so consistent. You know, as Max was closing in on him, he was banging in laps within a tenth of a second of each other, lap after lap. It was wonderful to see. And it's also great to see that we can come up with 3 different drivers of the day. And I think that actually reflects the quality that we've got in Formula One at the moment. Here ends a phenomenal weekend at COTA, 450,000 fans.
Wait. There's the Fiesta coming up. Mexico. There's the Fiesta coming up.
Oh my goodness. How can it be bigger and better in Mexico than it is here? Because it's just been incredible, isn't it? I mean, it is real, ladies and gentlemen. You know, Formula One in America is now a huge thing. And it was only this weekend, of course, that a new deal with ESPN was announced, a further three years. So the TV coverage is going from strength to strength. We've got 3 races, of course, coming up next year in the US. The atmosphere is being amazing. I watched Green Day on Friday night in concert. It's been great, and it's been equally great having both of you on the show at this race. So thank you for your time, and see you in Mexico.
Absolutely, yeah. I think I covered for a while racing here in the US, IndyCar, even NASCAR. I did a lot following Juan Montoya. And you feel that this is like way beyond whatever has been the following for Formula One in the US, and I'm glad to see it because obviously it's the biggest market, and it will only keep growing with Vegas coming in next year.
All right, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
F1 Nation is produced by Formula One and Audio Boom Studios.